So while you're preparing your own advocacy program, make sure that you understand what's going on. And I can tell you some things have changed since I launched this website. And the way that you find out is you just go into Google and look at what's going on with our opponents, what's going on with the Bureau of Prisons. So I typed it in, and I was surprised to see the first thing on their homepage was home confinement. So they are actually addressing the issues that the Attorney General spoke about, and that really encouraged me. I was a little bit surprised to see this thing in bold where it says inmates do not need to apply to be considered for home confinement. You can see it right there on the website. And the reason that surprises me is because I know that the Bureau of Prisons is really overwhelmed right now, with the entire nation, 90% of the nation being on this kind of lockdown period, or what do they call it, work from home situation to encourage social distancing. Well, the Bureau of Prisons is definitely going to be considered an essential business, so people are going to be going to work. But we know some things about the Bureau of Prisons, okay? We know that they stopped visiting a couple of weeks ago. The director came out with a announcement that said there will be no more visiting for 30 days. And when that happened, that meant that nobody was going into the prison system other than staff members. And yet the virus has spread throughout the prison system. And if you continue looking at this video that I'm profiling on there, you can see that the number of people that are getting infected continues to grow. And it's spread across the nation now, where there are more than 20 people in Lompoc, California. Of course, in Oakdale, where it really spread rapidly, people have already died. It's just been really spreading like a contagion. But the Bureau of Prisons, according to its website, is telling us that they're top of mind on transferring people out to home confinement. I can only tell you that if I were in prison, I would not simply be relying on what the Bureau of Prisons is telling me. I would want to take a bifurcated approach, meaning definitely do what the Bureau of Prisons says to do, and that is to request it from your team. And that's why in our advocacy program, that's what we talk about doing. But simultaneously, I would be paying attention to this data here that the Bureau of Prisons is showing, how many people are getting infected across the nation, how many people are dying from this, and I would not be waiting for a case manager or a unit manager to assess whether I would be safer inside of a prison than I would be at home. I would be looking at the data, and then I would take a bifurcated approach and be simultaneously trying to get in front of a federal judge through a 2241 proceeding. And the next video, I'll show you what that looks like. So that at least I'm trying, right? That's what advocacy is about. It's about always trying. It's about recognizing you are, battling a major bureaucracy that by its own statement, it has a vested interest in keeping you inside. So the more that we understand about it and the more that we understand what's going on, what they're doing, I applaud them if they're genuinely trying to put more people on home confinement. I think that's great, a great sign. As somebody who did 26 years in prison, on the other hand, I'm not, convinced that that's the type of help that I would have received on my own. I would have continued to be advocating for my behalf. I definitely know that my wife would have been advocating for me, and that means filing the appropriate paperwork. That means knowing what's going on in the Bureau of Prisons. Right now, I'm looking at a screen and I can see the death count on there, the number of people that are positive. In Lompoc right now, it says 23. When I'm filming this today on April the 7th, I can see that 5 staff members. I can see it's going on in Danbury. I know what's going on in Oakdale. So it gives us really clear information. I would want to be using that information in the advocacy package that I am preparing. If you're going to prepare your own advocacy package, I would highly encourage you, become familiar with the BOP's website, learn how to use it, learn how to incorporate this data, whatever you can pull, to make a stronger, more persuasive, more compelling package to help your loved one or to persuade authorities why your loved one is a worthy candidate to come home. So you really have to know a lot about the Bureau of Prisons, but definitely understand what you're fighting. There's an old principle, I think it was in Sun Tzu, that says, know thy enemy. And I'm not saying that the Bureau of Prisons is our enemy, but my experience was they didn't want to help me. While I was in there, I had to learn how to help myself and do so within the scope of the rules, but definitely advocate. Encourage you to use this resource to help yourself if you're going to do this on your own. Of course, if you'd like to reach out to our team, we're more than willing to help you. Thank you.